So what makes someone successful? The person with the strongest energy wins. It's not about learning the 8 traits of successful people or the 10 habits of successful people. It's all about strong energy in your energy account. Now here's the key for your success, okay? It's about energy flows where attention goes. I'm going to repeat that. Energy flows where attention goes. Because what is success? Success is the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. That's actually the dictionary definition of it. Okay? You get to decide what that aim or purpose is. So where do you want to keep your attention? On what you desire, right? On the things that you want in your life. Now this is true for everybody on the planet. Whether you're a person that's an average person or above average person or below average person, maybe you're well educated or not educated, or if you're an empath or HSP, this is true for every person on the planet. But it is especially important for you who is an empath or HSP. Now in my previous episodes, because this is a series done for empaths and highly sensitive people, if you haven't watched the previous episodes, please feel free to go check those out. I'm going to put links everywhere. There's one called Your Most Valuable Asset, Energy Drains No One Is Talking About, and so I'd love for you to go check those out if you want to find out in more detail. I'm going to mention things that came from those episodes, but I go into them in much more detail if you really want to understand things in a deeper way, all right? So it is so important for you to keep your attention on your desired outcome, your goal, your aspiration, your dreams. But where do you most likely keep your attention, right? On what you're worried about, right? Or maybe you're complaining about that person who cut you off. Or maybe you're just afraid about what's happening in the world or your job, right? You keep it focused on the very thing you don't want, right? There's more things to complain about or things not working out. You worry or are afraid. That's where you are most likely keeping your attention if you're not having the level of success you desire, that you have it focused on what you don't want. Now, why do you do that? Well, I'm Deepa Lou, and I'm the Creative Mystic, and I'm a spiritual success coach and an empath. And everything I'm going to share with you is either learned from my own experience or from working with my coaching clients. All right? And so I'm going to share with you today why it is so challenging for you to keep your attention on what you desire, what you need to do so you can keep your attention on what you want in your life, not what you don't want, and what are the most important strong energy deposits you need to make so you won't be influenced by other people's energy or negative energy out there. Okay, so let's get started. So number 1, why is it so challenging for you to keep your attention on what you desire? First one, talk about it in one of the previous episodes in great detail. Your environment. Your environment. Think about it. The news, TV, people around you at work. What are most people focused on? The problem, something they're afraid of, what they're worried about in their life, something that happened that didn't make them happy, right? So your environment is around you. Negative TV shows, that environment affects you. We have a whole episode about your outer environment, how it can affect you. But let's just think about it. What does the news mostly focus on? If you watch the news, it mostly focuses on the calamities in life. This tragedy, this problem, that problem. And so that is all around you all the time, 24/7. So you're being inundated with it. So what happens? That's where your attention goes, what you're being inundated with, okay? But here's the real big reason why you keep your focus on what's not working for you, on what's bothering you, is because you've been programmed for it. Your subconscious mind is programmed to complain, to focus on what you're afraid of. Now, don't feel bad. You've been programmed that way. Before the age of 7, I talked about this in a previous video, before the age of 7, whatever you heard, overheard, experienced, programmed you, and before the age of 7, you didn't have any ability to go, cancel, don't believe that, don't want that. After the age of 7, you're still getting programmed, but then you start to have personal choice to go, wait a minute, cancel, I'm not going down that road. I don't believe that. And you have more choice to do something different. Now, of course, at 8 doesn't mean you're going to do it. But as you get older, like now, if you're watching this, you're an adult, you have personal choice to start to go. You hear something that you don't believe, cancel. You have the ability to like stop it, okay? So those are the two most important reasons why you keep your attention there. Okay, now that programming, and this is why it's so hard for people to change this habit on their own, is that programming, however long you've been on the planet, has been going on that many years. So if you're 25, it's 25 years. If you're 45, it's 45 years. If you're 65, 65 years. And that programming, the longer it's been going on, it creates these grooves in your brain, so it just fires off in that direction. And when I say grooves, I mean neural pathways. Neural pathways are firing in those directions, and they get stronger and stronger the more you keep having a certain habit, and that prevents you from then learning how to take your attention from the problem to the desired outcome, to the goal, to the dream. So what dream do you have? What goal would you like to manifest? I really want you to think about that now, and I'd love for you to put it in the chat, in the comments, because it's important to give it voice. If you want to start to change the programming, start giving your goals and dreams a voice. Start talking about it. Not what's bothering you, but what you want to create in your life. Now, it can be challenging because that programming has a lot of hidden beliefs that are kind of ruling your behavior. And if you want to go learn more about that, go look at one of those previous episodes I just talked about in this series. I'll put all the links below about it so you can learn more about your programming. But I want you to get that programming is pervasive and it's ruling your decisions even when you're not aware of it. And so that programming, you've got to change it. How do you change it? You got to get some support and help because, one, it's very difficult to do on your own. I've watched people try it. Doesn't mean you can't do it, but it's a lot harder and a lot slower than when you get support. So let's get to number 2. What do you need to do so you can keep your attention on what you want in your life, not what you don't want, right? Because what most people do is they talk about what they don't want a lot. And I challenge you too to pay attention to your speech when you talk to people. Are you talking about what you want or what you don't want? Are you talking about what you're afraid of or what would you love to have in your life? Because what I find is 90% of the people have been programmed to talk about what they don't want and keep their focus on what they're afraid of. And so just pay attention. What do you talk about mostly? And if you catch yourself saying, oh, what I don't want or what I'm afraid of, that's your programming, hooking you into keeping your attention on what you don't desire. And what did I say? Energy flows where attention goes. And so why is this so important about energy flowing where attention goes? Because that's how you're manifesting. If you want to manifest anything in your life, if you know about law of attraction and manifestation, you have to keep your focus on the desired outcome, the thing that you dream about, that you aspire to be, do, or have in your life. Okay? So what do you start to do to change that programming? Programming is changed in 2 big ways, by repetition and experience. It's the more impactful the experience, the faster the change can happen. So what do you have to do to start to create experiences and repetition? 1, you got to change your environment. If you're in an environment where there's a lot of negative people, maybe you can't just, like if your job is negative, maybe you can't just quit right this minute until you find another one, but you'd want to start looking at where can I find a new company where it's more positive? Or maybe in your home, how can you change it so you guys are focusing on what you want to create in your life rather than the problems in your life. But you have to start to change that environment. And at the very least, get into a community of people who are positive, are going for their goals, are having those higher aspirations. And one of the things that's really important about changing this programming and making these important energy deposits is spiritual connection. Whatever you believe spiritually, find a positive community that's in possibility. Now, my wife and I have a online spiritual community called Magnify Your Miracles. I'll put that link in there if you'd like to check it out. I'd love to have you be there. We're really focused on connecting with the divine, and that is one of the things that gives you really strong energy. I'm going to talk more about that a little bit later, but I want you to get that spiritual connection you have, whatever you call your higher power, helps you to make strong energy deposits. Okay, so you got to get an environment that supports you. Okay, 2, I talked about it, you got to change your programming. Okay, that subconscious mind, you got your subconscious mind and your superconscious mind and your conscious mind. Well, your subconscious mind is where all your programming is stored, and I talk about that in a previous episode, so check that out if you want to understand it more. But today I just want to talk to you. We need to get your programming to match your superconscious mind. Your superconscious mind is your higher self, is going to always be kind of nudging you towards those dreams and goals, and giving you little intuitive inklings to go for it, and then your subconscious fears come up and stop you. We have to help reprogram your subconscious mind to match that superconscious aspiration and goal and dream that you have. And how do you do that? You've got to get support. You've got to find somebody who actually can see your specific challenges, so that you can zero in on those. It's one of the things I do in my coaching with my spirit guide portals, is they zero in on the very thing, the very belief and challenge that you're having that's blocking you from being able to move forward and keep your focus on your desires and dreams and believe that they can happen. Because we all have these blocks and belief systems that put blinders on, okay? So you need someone that can do that. If you're an empath and highly sensitive person, I recommend you get somebody who is an empath or highly sensitive person who really understands the spiritual laws and truths that are operating in your life 24/7, so that they understand what you need specifically as an empath or highly sensitive person. So one of the things I do specialize in is working with empaths and HSP'S, because I'm an empath and I know that your wiring is different than the non-empath, and so you need a little bit different thing than what the average person gets told to do to be successful. If you'd like to do that, I'd love for you to take advantage of my complimentary next step connection call. There's going to be a link, deepalu.com/gift. If you'd like to take advantage of that, please feel free to do that. All right, so you got to change that programming. If you're not an empath, find a coach that you resonate with. I'd still love to coach you if you'd like to, but if you know somebody that understands the spiritual truths and laws that are operating in your life 24/7, and that's what we want to reprogram you with. We don't just want to change the program to something else that still is based on false beliefs. You want to reprogram yourself onto the spiritual truths, the things that are actually operating in your life all the time, like the law of cause and effect. Like you make a cause and there's always an effect. So you may make a cause and you don't see the effect, but when you start to reprogram and know there's one, you just know it's about, oh, I don't know how long that effect is going to show up, because there's also a law operating called the law of gestation. And that law of gestation is about, like, what's the gestation period from the time you get like this realization in your consciousness that you want this certain dream to it manifesting on the physical plane. So like with farmers, they know what the gestation period is of like a carrot. I don't know what it is, but let's just say, I'm making it up, it's 6 weeks or something. They plant the seed and they know, oh, in 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the weather, that carrot's going to come forth. Well, when you're working with manifestation, coming from energy, from thought energy to physical form, we don't know what that gestation period is for that particular dream you have. And so you have to start to understand those things so you don't give up on your dreams, because that's what most people do, is they give up on their dream before it actually sprouts. Doesn't mean it wouldn't have if they didn't keep putting out positive causes. But because of their belief of I'll believe it when I see it, they start to disbelieve when it doesn't come at their timetable. I don't know if that's happened for you. I'd love for you to put that in the comments if you have had that challenge, okay? And then the third one, in order to make that change, is you really have to have support. Now, I've already kind of mentioned that, but you really need to get that support because the way you've been programmed puts blinders on you. And so you need someone who can see your blind spot. Everybody has a blind spot. I have my own blind spots. I work with people because of my own blind spots. You need to find someone that you connect with, that you feel like you're a fit with, that can help you with your blind spots. Okay, it's one of the things I'm always talking about, because the blind spots are what makes you think there's no possibility, or that it's not, you can't take an action on what you desire because of some belief system that tells you if you do it, you're a bad person, or that's not logical, or that's not responsible. Okay, so those are the 3 things that you need to do so you can start to keep your attention on what you desire rather than what you're afraid of, or what you're complaining about, or what you don't want in your life. Okay, so what are the most important things you can do to put strong energy deposits into your energy account? I'm going to share that with you next. Okay, because when you have strong energy in your energy account, then you're not going to be as susceptible to going with the negative energy that might be around you, to be getting foggy and unclear, to being influenced by other people's emotions. As an empath or HSP, it's really easy, if you don't have strong energy, to just go, and pretty soon you're off on someone else's emotions, or taking their energy in, or feeling like you're being pulled down because of somebody else. If you've ever struggled with that, even if you're not an empath or HSP, if you're listening to this by chance, if you're seeing that, then that tells me at some level you're not having strong energy in your account. But so making those strong energy deposits are vital if you're an empath or HSP. Vital. It's vital for everybody, but I tell people, if you're an empath and HSP, you need to make this a priority. It is so important, okay? So that first one I want to talk about, I mentioned earlier, your connection to your higher power. Whether you call that higher power Spirit, God, Buddha, Allah, Spirit, the Source, whatever the name you have, does not matter on the name, okay? But that deep connection. And when I say deep connection, that I'm talking about where you have faith, where you feel like almost transformed. I know when I meditate sometimes and I get into that connected place, all of a sudden I can just feel the joy or peace come in that maybe I wasn't feeling earlier. You want to have that faith so that you can act on the intuitive inklings, those desires and goals and aspirations that you have, even though you might be afraid. Okay? Now, I will tell you, you cannot have faith and have fear at the same time. A lot of people will tell me, I have faith, I have strong faith. And then I say, well, do you act on your intuition? Oh, no. Or I struggle with it, I doubt a lot. Or they have fear and worry and anxiety all the time. And I tell people, if you're having fear, worry, and anxiety most of the time, you're not in faith. Because when I'm in 100% faith, there could be something happening in my life where that seems really like challenging. But when I'm in faith, I'm peaceful about it. I know it's all going to work out. And when I'm not, I worry and have doubt, just like you might have. Okay? So, but the faith that I do have is I have enough faith that even when the fear comes up, which I call that 90% faith, is I still act on my intuitive inklings. That intuition, those callings to do. Because that's what you want to have, at least enough faith where you act on your intuitive guidance. And that comes with deeper connection, more practice, learning more about your programming, because the programming can stop you. But I want you to get that it's one of the reasons why meditation is so important. It's one of the reasons why I put these guided meditations on there with my spirit guide portals on my channel, because the spirit guide portals are there to help you connect with divine presence in different forms, help bless you with this certain vibration and energy to bring you into more faith. So please, if you want to go check that out more, go check out those meditations. Or you can do silent meditation, which is, I do a lot of silent meditation because that really helps me feel connected. And I'd love to hear if you would like to know something in the comments, put it in the comments rather, if you'd like to know more about silent meditation, because it has transformed my life when I started meditating many years ago, okay? So that connection is one of the top things that makes strong energy deposits. When you feel connected and faith, the energy drains stop. You're putting strong energy in because source, where does everything come? Higher power. When you feel that connection, your energy is strong, okay? That energy is strong within your energy account. Now, the other one I want to talk to you about, I always say I'm the creative mystic because two most important things, mystic part, right? Those spiritual experiences that you're having directly with yourself, right? That's one. I just talked about the connection. Two, creativity. Creativity, why is that so important? When you're creating, what are you connecting with? Where does all creation come from? Higher power. And so I tell people when you're doing creativity, if you intentionally have that energy of, like, I do this with Spirit, with God, with Divine Mother, then I'm inviting that energy in. I actually do prayers to invite Divine Mother's energy in, or the energy of that spirit guide to paint the portal, to paint the painting. Now, you might not be painting, but whatever you're creating, when you invite in higher power, that is another strong energy deposit. I find most people, when they act on their creativity, feel more joyful, more energy, happier, and that's strong energy. That's all being deposited into your account when you act on your creativity. So creativity is the second one. And the third one that puts strong energy into your energy account is acting on your heart's desires, okay? Following your true heart's desires, and especially your true heart's desire, that's your purpose, what I call your holy calling. When you feel on purpose, when you do what you're passionate about, when you feel why you're on the planet, strong energy deposits are going into your energy account. Your energy, you can feel the difference. I had a time period in my life where I wasn't acting on my purpose, my calling, and I felt tired all the time. Felt like I was struggling. And when I started to act on my purpose, my holy calling, that's when I went, whoo, this is really important for strong energy deposits, because I had energy to do things even when I didn't sleep well, even when something that would normally make somebody really tired, I would have the energy to do it. And so really connecting with your heart's desire, your purpose, your holy calling, will be making your energy stronger. Now, you might be going, but I don't know what my heart's desire is. I don't know what my holy calling is. I'd like to know. Well, you know, one of the reasons why you don't know if you're an empath or HSP is probably because you're being energetically moved around by everybody else's energy, and that's one of the reasons why strong energy is so important. But also, if you're looking to know more of that, part of why people can't know their heart's desire is their programming prevents them from acting on it. The programming, you're probably getting little inklings, but your programming keeps telling you that what you want to do is not responsible, or you won't be able to be successful at it, or you know, some other belief that might be going on. It's one of the things why when I work with my coaching clients, we get to that. The Spirit Guide Portal zeroes in on the very belief system that's keeping you caught and not knowing what's true in your heart. Because following your heart's desire, your true heart's desires. Now, I'm not talking about trying to keep up with the Jones desires, you know, Jones's desires of following other people's desires. I'm talking about what your heart is speaking to you, what your higher self is saying to you to do, to act on. That makes your energy strong. And it's part of how you fulfill yourself, and most importantly, be successful. Remember, being successful is accomplishing an aim or a purpose. And I tell people, your purpose is one of your most important reasons for being on this planet. And I tell people, you have purposes, but your holy calling is that purpose of you're here to do something that's going to transform not only your life, but the lives of other people's too. All right? So if you like what you've heard, please subscribe, share, give me a like if you like what you've heard. I'd love to have, you know, any comments or shares that you have of how this has helped you in this. And if you have any questions, please put them in there. And remember, greatness is within you. It's time to shine your light. Have a miraculous day. Blessings.